You know, we've talked here on the channel about just comfort games in general. I want to talk specifically about FPS games that I love. These are comfort games in the sense that I go back to these time and time again. You can play it at whatever stage of life you're in. These are just fantastic single-player FPS games, starting with Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2. Man, if you've never played Half-Life 2, it's one of the best rated games of all time, let alone an FPS game. And I probably could talk, I think, for an entire day about how incredible that game is. The source visuals have held up remarkably well. The design of the game, the levels, it is unbelievably cool how well this game retains its status. To this day, you can play through it, and I promise you, you will go, wow, that's cool. Nobody has done anything like this. And I truly cannot wait for the Half-Life 2 RTX Remix project. There is a team of top modders for Half-Life that are working on an entire remaster of the game with ray tracing. I count down the seconds for this thing. It's going to be incredible. If you want to stay in the same vein, Portal 1 and Portal 2. Valve has just got a level of genius when it comes to their game design that nothing else I feel like has, I don't want to say come close to because they're doing their own unique thing, but yeah, nothing really touches Portal 1 and Portal 2. I just finished Portal 2 for the first time, at least the main single player, last week. And incredible. The writing, the humor, the puzzle design, everything is just fantastic. And I mean, if you picked up the game on the Steam sale, congrats. Or if you wait for another Steam sale, these are the things you can get for like $1. It's so good. And Portal 2 has a co-op mode that is amazing. I remember playing through it, I don't know, a decade ago with one of my best friends. And the fact that you get basically one of the coolest single player FPS puzzle campaigns ever, along with a great co-op mode. Yeah, it's so good. Halo CE or Halo 3 or Halo Reach, maybe Halo 2 or ODST, take your pick. It really doesn't matter. You know, hopefully you have Halo MCC at this point. If you don't, I highly recommend it. The game's in a great state. Multiplayer is still going. It's not got the same momentum, but a lot of Infinite players have returned to the game over the last like 6 months or so. And playing through CE or Halo 3 for me are the comfort, campaigns to go through. Props if you have a friend or a partner or somebody that you can play these couch co-op with or online co-op. I would always encourage, the couch co-op side of things because that just takes it to a whole nother level. Halo 3, I remember waking up at 3 a.m. the day of release. My dad picked it up on the midnight release. I had school that day, but I played from like 3 to 6, got home from school, finished the campaign, and it is one of the most memorable, important, coolest games ever. And then years later, playing it through on Legendary with my college roommate in my dorm room on like a 17-inch TV split screen. Those are those memories that are just incredible, and you can still make them today. It holds up remarkably well. Titanfall 2, I talk about Titanfall 2 enough on the channel. We probably don't need to discuss it. You can beat the campaign, yes, in probably a single day, and you will want to go through it again and again. It is phenomenal. I don't think there has been such a package of like the traditional FPS system, with a multiplayer and a campaign, day one, all there. Ever since, we've had nothing like this, and it is so good. Pick it up. It goes on sale regularly. The multiplayer has been fixed. You can go and play on all platforms right now online and enjoy the game once again. And staying in the awesome movement tech department, we've got Mirror's Edge. And of course, I'll mention it here, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Every time I bring up Mirror's Edge, people are like, bro, they made a reboot, they had a sequel, they had this thing. And it's like, yeah, I like the original Mirror's Edge far more than Catalyst. They're both really cool games. In fact, I've got a video on Catalyst. I'll leave a link down below if you want to hear more about why I like the first in contrast with the second. This is a first-person parkour game. Story, whatever. Gameplay, yes. And it's ultra replayable. It's one of those games that you could beat in an afternoon, but you will want to go back through a dozen times. There's so many routes and ways that you can play it differently. I always compare it to like a Tony Hawk, like pro skater game. Every time you hop in, it's like a session, and you can explore the map and utilize the tech in different ways. I hope we see more games like this someday again. Borderlands 2 is the game that all of my friends said, you've got to play this, we've got to try this together. And I've probably done 7 or 8 different playthroughs with 7 or 8 different groups of friends over the years, and every single time I have not regretted a moment. Borderlands 2 holds up so well. You know, there's a reason on Steam charts why this game has basically the exact same player count as the much, much newer Borderlands 3. Obviously, I would highly recommend a Borderlands 2 playthrough be one of those things that you prioritize playing with friends. It's not going to deliver the same experience outside of co-op. But if you do have a few friends that you can sink time into this with, yeah, prepare yourself. It is phenomenal. This was like peak 360 vibes back in the day. I think about Xbox Party Chat anytime I think about Borderlands 2, because there was nothing like cozier and more relaxing than booting this game up and playing it with your friends. Next is a game that I really didn't think would ultimately make any of my lists moving forward, at least when the game released, and that's Cyberpunk 2077. I was impressed with the game, but my expectations for 2077 were off the charts because I had completely absorbed all of the marketing, I had bought all of the hype, and then the game came out and it was different than what I had expected, and yeah, it was rough at first. Now, I've been going through a second playthrough, and I finished that off. I just started the Phantom Liberty DLC, and I can say, now that I'm like 70 hours into the game, wow, 2077 is pretty incredible now. The changes that they made to the gameplay, and most importantly, the perk system, has made it so much more enjoyable to play. A game that I now want to return to over and over again. I'm going to look in, future playthroughs at, story skips or cutscene skips or something like that, because I don't really find the main vanilla story all that engaging on my second playthrough now. But the gameplay is so freaking cool, and you can just customize the experience to how you want to play. It really does finally feel like they've realized the potential of what could be done in an RPG cyberpunk setting. I love it now. I think it's super cool and worth checking out again if you skipped on it. I'm very regularly showing footage from Metro Exodus on the channel. That's because I'm doing a fresh playthrough of the game right now. It's not overly comforting, but it's a game with incredible atmosphere. It can be kind of scary at times, and it really has unparalleled visuals. It has held up so well, at least Exodus has. The Metro trilogy as a whole is worth trying if you've never played it. The first two are very, very linear, which may not really gel with everybody, but the third game mixes some of that super linear action with semi-open world segments. And I think it's a perfect blend. It's kind of just the right amount of open world that I want. Not something that's massive with outposts and takes tons of your time. And then it also gives you the best of their really tightly polished kind of corridor campaign style gameplay. And if the gameplay is your heavy duty focus, my gosh, the Doom games are so good. I held off on Doom 2016 for a while because I'm just not into like the setting. It's a little much for me, but playing the game, it's one of the best designs for like FPS levels and action ever. I just respect so much how well crafted like the movement tech is, the sandbox, the challenge. It is a very fun, very in your face game, and it's also very replayable. If you're going more the RPG route, I know I kind of leaned more on RPG with Cyberpunk, but Fallout 4 or New Vegas, yes, they are first-person games. They land more on the RPG side of things. Me personally, I do like Fallout 4 more than New Vegas. I know that is total blasphemous to say because the Fallout diehard fans would just kill me for that. But Fallout 4 with mods, and especially if you're playing through the Far Harbor DLC, I thought it was really great. New Vegas for like ultimate respect and game design and all these things, but it just is a little dated enough for me that I would prefer kind of the shooting mechanics in Fallout 4. And the final two games on the list are nothing incredible. They're not masterpieces. They're not 10 out of 10 games, but they are pretty fun games. And that's going to be Rage 2 for the first one and Far Cry Blood Dragon for the second. Rage 2 it's just a fun 7 out of 10 game in my mind. It really doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but it's ultimately super chill to play. And I feel like when it came out, was it 2019-ish maybe? It was really overlooked, and I don't think it got the attention that it deserved. I would probably never recommend buying it at a full price. It would be a sale game for sure. But if you're looking for something fun from, I think, the people who made the Mad Max games, it's a little bit of driving and combat and the vehicles, and then a lot of cool first-person open-world exploration and destruction stuff. And visually, the game definitely didn't get enough credit because I think it looks really nice. And last would be Far Cry Blood Dragon. I had never played this when it originally had come out, and it definitely shows its age in some ways, but it's over the top, it's stylistic, the gameplay is pretty darn fun, and it's just silly. It was like an 80s aesthetic overkill kind of game. Way before we were going through this new resurgence of the 80s hype stuff. I guess Stranger Things came out, what, was it 2016 or 15? So, you know, right about then was that new 80s is cool again, resurgence stuff. Same as Rage 2, don't buy it at full price, wait for a sale or something like that, but it's definitely worth trying it, at least if you get any sort of excitement looking at the gameplay. Now I know somebody's gonna comment down below, where's like BioShock or Fear or a bunch of these other like masterpieces, and the ultimate answer is, well, I love BioShock and I think the world of it, it's not a game I go back to and play over and over again. And Fear is a game that I still need to get into. I've had it sitting in my Steam library forever. I've known growing up it's incredible, so I will try it at some point. But if there are other games that you think should be here, just let me know. I am always looking for that new underrated gem, something that just really screams a fun game. So let me know in the comments down below what your favorites are, and I'm excited to check those out. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you again very soon.